think we got it now.
We're on. This is fun.
Cool.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Technology gets us here. A few technology difficulties today, but it can happen. Hi, I'm Susan McConnell. I'm your LinkedIn for the Reserved Champion. Thanks for joining me today. I host a conversation every Tuesday at 12 with different business owners on different topics to light up my network with actionable ways to improve your business and everybody's business around us all. And today I am joined by Grant Talek, who is prepared for our dangerous conversation. I'm so excited. Grant
thanks for having me, Susan.
Yeah, go ahead. Want to say that?
Thanks for having me. I was gonna say, I'm wearing the helmet because this is a dangerous conversations about business. So I figured I'd come prepared in case anything, flew my way or something like that. So
I love it. It's awesome. The dangerous piece is that we might all learn something dangerously good so that we can improve our business. I think that's how we came up with it.
That's the goal.
I love it. Yeah, so it's awesome because Grant is a serial entrepreneur. He started his first business when he was at Babson College and has blossomed since then. He is the co-founder of AuthentIQ Marketing. It's a done-for-you service that turns long-form video content into engaging clips for social media. So welcome. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thanks again. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And it's interesting though, we all are doing a lot of these podcasts and all this video content, and I'm guilty of this. So this is great news. There it all sits. It sits in Facebook Live. It sits on YouTube. It sits wherever I've put it, and have little time to take the golden nuggets of content that we can be repurposing and reusing. So you are the master at that. So tell us a little bit more about what you do and what you do for some of your clients, and then we'll get into some more questions. And for people viewing, if you have questions, I'm pretty decent at getting into the comments and reading the questions and answering them. So jump in.
Yeah. Well, what you were describing there is something that a lot of content creators go through is they spend so much time, creating live streams, creating podcasts, doing webinars. Then they post it online. It may kind of get lost in the black hole of the internet. And there's so much valuable information there. As an expert, you're coming forward and you're saying, hey, I want to help out and provide value here online. But then when you post it, maybe it just doesn't get the reach that you really had anticipated. So one thing that I can assure you is that online and on social media, we have fairly limited attention spans. There's only so much time in our days. And also when you're scrolling through a feed on social media, there's always a post right underneath yours,
Right.
Which means it's competitive and you're really competing for people's attention. So, a big recommendation that I would give to people is just to realize that like all of the content you've been creating in the past, that's an asset. All these live streams, they're an asset and they're still valuable and still able to be used and repurposed and brought back up as social content that you can share now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. So yeah, what you're doing is great. The thing is, Susan, you're creating the assets and maybe you don't have the time to do repurposing, but nonetheless, you're creating that value and the asset is there ready to be repurposed whenever the time is right. So that's awesome. That's the beautiful thing.
And what I think a lot of people probably don't understand that you might even be able to speak to is, like you said, you don't have a lot of time. No one's going to sit and watch a 20-minute video on like a LinkedIn post or a Facebook post or even on YouTube. I don't even know what the average length is, but taking some of the projects that you've done and converting it into much smaller bite-sized content might be a great way to have more people view.
I would almost kind of disagree with you to some extent about that people won't listen to your long form content. I mean, people will want to consume that content, especially if they're trying to get to know you better. Like maybe they're considering working with you, but they just don't necessarily maybe have that trust built or something of that nature. In which case they might, instead of wanting to talk to you on the phone, they might just go to your YouTube channel and listen to your 3 most recent podcasts and just kind of see how you think, see your interests and things like that, With that being said, though, like you do need to hook people and ultimately get them to that long form content. So the short form content adapted from those
Mm.
long form videos are going to help people get to that long form content. And you really do want people spending time watching that, because it's just like when someone's watching a 40-minute video of you and someone else interacting, like they really are spending quality time with you and getting to know you on a deeper level that like a 5 or 45-second video wouldn't necessarily be able to convey. So yeah, both have their function.
That's interesting. So I guess what is it that's not, I guess, not obvious to us that might, like, it's not obvious to us that's like obvious to others about maybe our content?
Yeah, I mean, I love this saying, what's obvious to you is not always obvious to others. So
I
I
was trying
think
to come up with it, but it didn't come out right. You're better at it already. See?
I think
That's why you're the
we
expert and I'm not.
no, the thing is we're all experts in our own regard, and that's kind of the whole point of that quote is what's obvious to you is not obvious to others. It's not my quote, but it really resonates with me because there have been a lot of times in my content creation journey and in trying to market my business online where I've felt like, hey, what do I have to say? What is there valuable that I have that I can share with others? And sometimes you can really get in your head and feel a little bit down in yourself, feeling like maybe you're not experienced enough yet, or maybe you just don't have enough detailed expertise, or maybe your story isn't interesting enough or something like that. But I can assure you, every single person has an interesting story and a unique
Mhm.
combination of skills that you can bring to the table and start sharing. So, and this is the thing, something might feel easy to you. Like for me, um, video editing, like graphic design, like social media strategy, it's very easy to me. And sometimes that can make it feel like it's not valuable to other people because I might assume that it's also easy for them. But you have to realize that just because something's easy for you does not mean it's easy for someone else, in which case it's a great opportunity for you to either teach them or to help them, provide a service and
Mhm.
help them through that, whatever it may be. So yeah, if there's something that you feel like is just so easy for you, maybe that's actually extremely valuable and something that you should be sharing with the world. So I'll give you
That's
an
so
example.
true.
Like I love biking. Biking, I don't have a car. I bike everywhere. And that's kind of how I run my life. Like I love to live my daily life on my bike. And so I'm very passionate about mountain biking, about, biking to travel. When I graduated college, I biked from Boston to Philadelphia with a really close friend of mine, Hanson. And it was like five days, 500 miles, or no, it was like 7 days, 500 miles. And we would camp every night. Right. So biking is something that like is a big part of my life. And I love going online and looking at maps and just kind of exploring the world in the US and potential biking areas
Awesome.
through the resources we have online. But also through the business, through Authentic, over the last 3 years, I've acquired a lot of knowledge about live streaming, about video marketing, about video editing, about graphic design.
Mhm.
So recently, I kind of combined those two skills. And what I'm doing is I'm creating live stream videos just kind of like this one, posting them to YouTube. And I'm showing people kind of what it's like to bike in various cities across the US to hopefully give them information to kind of live their best life on their bike and find safer roads and things of that nature. And point
Awesome.
being is that like for me, that stuff is super easy. Going online, researching the maps, like it's really easy. It's fun for me. And so is the live streaming stuff and the video editing. And I think for a long time, I was in my head a little bit thinking that it wouldn't be that valuable to other people because it's just,
Oh,
for
yes.
me, it's like second nature. But
Right.
recently, I just was like, all right, I'm taking a deep dive and I started creating a ton of videos um, on YouTube for that. So sometimes if you feel like maybe you don't have something like valuable to bring to the table, you can always combine two skills that you have too and
Right.
kind of create something new that other people wouldn't normally think about. So that's kind of
Yeah,
my
it's
story there.
interesting. And well, yeah, it's your life story. And like you just said, like some people don't think that their life story is, and actually I got this from our friend Chaz, and he says, document your day, because there are fun things that happen, there are horrible things that happen, and
Yeah.
there are all these things that happen in your life that you can use as content, and you don't know what's going to resonate with your audience. But if you do you will come up with the ideas of for content. And it's interesting too. Another thing that, and this is his saying, because it's amazing, and it's, everybody's so nervous about what other people think about them, and so putting yourself on video for me was daunting, and I was just like, I'm
Hmm.
not going to come off as someone who's an expert. But yet you're right, there are things that I know that are different than what others know, and people are going to be attracted to me. So he says it like this. He says what you think other people think about you is not what they think about you. It's what you think they think, and not actually what they think. So get over it, right? It's like if we get over
Yeah.
worrying about what other people think, because it's what we think they think and not what they're probably not even thinking about us. And so Chaz mentions that every once in a while. And every time I hear it, I just go, it's so good to hear, because
Hmm.
just do you, and you'll come up with your content, and it'll be natural, and it'll be you. It's fun.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
it's all
agree.
good stuff. So why are most content creators leaving opportunity on the board with their long form content?
Yeah, I've kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier in the conversation, just
Yeah.
that all of the stuff that you're already doing in your business, whether that's maybe it's just client calls
Hmm.
with
Oh, yeah.
um, current clients, and you guys are talking through sales strategy or a content marketing strategy, or whether it's a live stream interview just like this. There's so much valuable information in that conversation. Um, if you want to promote it, you got to pull out those highlights, right? And
Hmm.
really hone in on those golden nuggets. For instance, like that story I just shared about kind of the the angle I'm taking with biking and bike trails and live streaming.
Hmm.
That could be an individual clip that you bring out and share on social media. So I think, a lot of people might be underestimating what they're already doing as far as
Hmm.
creating content, um, and not adapting what they're already doing into shareable content for social media. So, yeah,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people think when they need to create videos for online for social media, they have to, have this intense camera setup and like
Yeah.
just have a video studio, and you sit down for 8 hours and you're going to film one video. But it can be a lot simpler than that, right? Like everything that you're already doing, those client calls, those webinars, leverage those as resources and pull the content from those, and it simplifies things a lot, because it's already part of your process and workflow. So
Yeah. You're right. It doesn't have to be complicated, and you don't have to have complicated equipment. Maybe you can go into some of that. I think I've seen that on some of
yeah,
your posts, like some of the equipment or some of maybe the software tools that might make it easier for people to do content on the go like you do.
yeah, I can definitely. So I'm actually, and speaking of on the go, I'm traveling right now. I'm actually in Northwest Arkansas right now at the moment, and kind of Northwest Arkansas has some really interesting mountain biking. I was in Boston for the last 6 years of my life, pretty much, and I about 9 months ago, I was like, all right, one of the whole reasons why I wanted to start my business was to travel a little bit. And I finally got to a point where I was like, all right, it's time to travel. And it's been really fun. Point being is that like pretty much everything that I'm using here, to do this live stream fit in my backpack that I had as a carry-on
Wow.
onto the
That's
plane.
awesome.
So, but it's not, the lightest stuff ever. I've got the Blue Yeti right here. This is about $130 microphone, and it definitely helps improve your audio quality. I wouldn't say it's necessary. You could just use simple, like, you can kind of see them in the bottom corner of the screen, just iPhone headphones, to start out with. But then what I use for my camera is most laptops aren't up to speed with the quality of phone cameras yet. So I use an app called Reincubate Camo. And basically what you do is you plug in your iPhone or any smartphone to your computer, and you can use that as a higher quality microphone,
Oh, that's
or
cool.
higher quality camera. So that's definitely helped out. Although yesterday, Mac, Apple had a new product release, big launch day. They finally updated their camera in their computers to 1080p, which is huge. I don't know why, like our phone cameras are so amazing, but our laptop cameras still are so behind the times. It's frustrating. I
Yeah,
think,
I have one right here connected to my my desktop, and it's not very good. So that's a
is
great
it like a
tool.
Logitech C920 or?
It's probably less than that, I'm sure.
Yeah, so you could just use your iPhone and connect it to your computer, right?
Well, that's a great idea. So we'll have to
Yeah,
get that.
keep
We'll
it
put that in the
simple.
comments.
I mean, the beautiful thing is most simple. You could just start with your phone and start with a pair of headphones, or your computer and a pair of headphones. And the first 5, 6, 10 webinars or live streams might not be amazing, but you're going to be developing the skill of public speaking in front of a camera,
Right.
as well as how to interact with an audience. And then you can filter in the technology and make the audio quality better and the video quality better. That stuff is important, but it's not the most important thing, which I think the most important thing is that you're just online sharing what you know, and getting in the habit of doing it, right? So
It's
keep it
the habit.
simple and just try to stay steady. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, you're right. It's the habit. It's daunting when you first get on and you start talking with people. Definitely nerve-wracking. But the more that you do it, the more you can go with the flow. And that's when some really good stuff can come out with what you're saying
Hmm.
and what you're communicating. You're absolutely right. Just keep doing it and it will get it done
Keep
for
doing
you.
it. Keep doing it.
Let's see if I have any other questions. Yes, this might be relevant. Can you pull your content out of the black hole of the internet and shine some light on it?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the whole point of content repurposing. So what I
Yes,
want to encourage you to do, or right now, if you're listening, is if you have a bunch of content that's just kind of sitting on YouTube, maybe you've been creating it over the past few years, go back to one of those videos, one of your favorite videos, and I want you to just repost it on LinkedIn or on Twitter, whatever platform you're most active on and you want to continue to promote. You've already put the time in to create that initial asset, which that's what it is. It's a really useful digital asset. You can cut it a little bit shorter. Maybe it's a 10-minute video and you can bring it into iMovie, um, something simple like that, and just cut it down to 1 to 2 minutes of like a specific talking point and post that. That's a good way to start with content repurposing. That's the whole premise of it, is leverage what you've already created, and really create that bite-sized content for social media. So don't complicate it too much at first. Just go back to what you've already created and try to give it some new life and re-energize it. And I've got a bunch of other tools and like softwares that I use that can really help with this process. So I'm an open book if anyone ever wants to reach out to me on LinkedIn about how to do it more efficiently. I will say there's a platform called Descript that we use for the entire editing process, essentially. Well, it's the most important part of the process, really, which is selecting those individual clips. And what you do is, like, if we took this full length conversation, you'd upload it to Descript and then it would transcribe it. And you'd be able to read through the whole conversation. And
that's
when
cool.
you find like a 1 to 2 minute sequence or story that really stands out, all you do is highlight it and then you add it to a new composition and it creates a separate video from that. So it just really speeds up the editing process and being able to go out and identify those individual clips. It's called Descript, and I think they have a free
Descript.
version that. So definitely check that out if you're looking to do this the DIY route.
Yeah, and actually, I have done a few pieces on Canva as well. I've uploaded the
Absolutely.
video, and then you
Hmm.
can just, it's not the best, but you can easily crop those. And I figured it out. So,
Oh yeah, no, we use Canva too. You can upload a 10-minute conversation or video to Canva, and then they give you an option to cut it down to 5 seconds or 2 minutes, whatever you want. And then you can add some graphics, add your branding, and make it a little bit more engaging. So that's a useful tool as well.
yeah, and I've also used a tool called Clip Scribe, which will
Hmm.
do that. The the text underneath and, give you some, frames that you can use. Kind of fun. So there's a
Yep.
lot you can
Flipscribe's
do,
another
and
good
there's
one.
so much cool software out there that's easy and inexpensive.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to take their content and have you help them out with it, how do you work with people? Tell us what you do. Like
Yeah.
what's a
So the whole
typical client for you?
process, yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, thanks for giving me the opportunity to kind of plug the services, but it's,
Absolutely. That's why we're here.
yeah. So, first of all, like I said, I'm an open book about this whole process. If you're trying to go the DIY route, definitely please reach out. I'm happy to
Okay,
help
great.
you in the repurposing process, or even schedule a call and I can kind of give you some pointers. But our done for you service, essentially, the way it works is you take one of your long form podcasts or live streams, you just send us that file. What we're going to do is we're going to listen through that whole thing. We're going to identify those individual clips. Then we're going to add your branding. We're going to add subtitles to the video. We're going to add some B-roll and background footage that kind of make it more engaging, and some animations that really kind of every 5 to 10 seconds help capture your attention and keep you focused on the thought in the video. Then we send that back to you and your team to be ready to post for social media. And we work on a monthly basis. So try to keep it really, the most important thing with content is staying consistent and continuously getting
Yes.
better over time. So, really all you have to do is just send us that content. We do our thing. You don't have to manage us or anything. You just get that content right back to you. And then we keep plugging away month in, month out, and generating content from the assets that you've already created over time or continue to create. So,
That's
yeah, the
great.
best way to find more information is you could just reach out directly to me on LinkedIn, Grant Talek, or you go to our website, AuthentICmarketing.com, and that's authentic with a Q, not a C, AuthentICmarketing.com, and you'll be able to find out some more information.
Yeah, that's great. I actually was going to ask you how people reach out to you. I was going to try to put your email in the chat, but my email is spinning, so that's not going to work. But I will put
No
it in
worries.
after. Of
Okay,
course it is.
that sounds
We're
good.
having technology problems today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put your email in the chat because, yeah, you know what? I have a saying, and my partner and I have been saying this for 9 years: do what you do best and outsource the rest when you can. So sometimes people can do it themselves, and sometimes it's time to turn it over to someone else. And you have lots of content on LinkedIn that can help people if they are looking to do it themselves, and if they aren't and they're looking for someone to do it and do it consistently for them, which is definitely a great thing to do. Definitely reach out to Grant. Thank you so much for being here today. This was great. A lot of good information. And I'm going to repost this so more people can get out there and see us. And just make sure you join us every week. I'll have new people on every week, more topics, sales, marketing, anything to help you in your business move forward. So signing off for today, everybody. And we will be in touch. Have a great day. See everybody next week. And again,
Thanks,
thanks,
Susan.
Grant.
Thanks,
Hang
everyone,
on
for
for a
watching.
second. I'll end the broadcast. Hang on.
Have a great week.